animal farm when travel becomes essential.
The mid to high end frequencies of your track can be a mix down nightmare for many producers, including myself. Often dealing with a dual sounding synth or ear piercing hi-hats, it can be very troublesome trying to tidy up these bands of frequencies. Often just having a starting point can be overwhelming. This new plugin called Mixroom by Mastering the Mix aims at giving you both that starting point you need and also the very precise control to then take that further and really tame your mid and high end frequencies. Let's see it in action on a single track, and then let's use its incredible presets to get the starting point for a final master.
Divide the resource, ride the seahorse into a stable sea.
Now before I jump in with those presets, which do a lot of the work for you, I want to just try out some of the basic functions of Mixroom. Now you can hear that it's quite busy around this part of the track. So I'm going to single out this synth, which to me sounds a little dull, might need brightening up. The low end on it is perfectly fine, that sounds nice and dominant in the mix. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure this filter mode is on mix. There's two different filters you can pick as well, linear phase and minimum phase. The linear giving no coloration, but it affects the transients, and the minimum phase it doesn't impact the transients as much, but it does have some coloration there. It's up to you which one you use. What I want to do is start creating some frequency bands to work with. Looking at the heat map here, you can see that the bass frequencies are very strong. So maybe let's put something in here, just drag it down a bit lower. Now I'm going to just click and drag up and down like that. You can see it move in the space. And you can hear the difference that's making. So let's maybe expand that a little bit there. Now I'm going to add another band above that. I think I might drag this one down a bit. So you can change it between a bell and high shelf. I'm just going to play around with these. See how intuitive it is. It's very easy just to get to grips with it. There's a lot of great controls here. You can bypass or solo the bands, and there's also the mid and side capabilities. So at the minute we're on stereo, but you can click here just to control the mid. Maybe we could tighten it in the middle, maybe open it out even more on the sides. As you can see, it's got a lot of advanced capabilities here. Maybe I could make another band just at the low end, maybe just tighten it up slightly. Okay, let's bypass it. You see, that's really cleaned up the sound. That's great. It's got such good sound quality. Okay, so now we've looked at it in a basic way. Let's try putting it onto the master channel instead. Now I've already bounced the track down. And I've got Mixroom here, so let's have a go with some of these presets. So let's just get the track playing.
2020 vision word. Hold out hope, how we cope. Waves move through our hurdle.
Okay. Now to get the presets up, we just use this target at the bottom. And the track I'm working on, this is some sort of hip-hop track, I guess. Let's just go for pop rap. And now see it's going to analyse the song. And it's going to make some suggestions. You can see that's the curve it's thinking about having. You can see the heat map here as well. So let's click Add Smart Bands. Now the bands have automatically been put in there. And this gives us the starting point now that we can work on. Okay, so now that the analysis is complete and it's set the bands for us, we can now just tweak these like we were before, make any changes, adjust it to how we feel it should be. But I think this is really good for producers, especially newer producers, especially if you're working on your own music as well. It can be really hard to have something to reference to. And talking about referencing, that's one of my favourite things about this plugin. Down here, if you click on this target, you can actually drop your own song in here to use as a reference. There's two really good things about this. Firstly, if you was like, say, making an EDM track and you wanted to meet that sort of commercial loudness, that commercial dynamic, then you could get your favourite artist, drop one of their tracks in here. But it's also very good if you're making an album, mastering an album. We've got a collection of songs. Once you finish that first song, you can then drag it in here, the mastered version, and you can then use that as a reference for all your next songs that you're adding to the album. I think that's really powerful, very useful thing to have. So as you can see, Mixroom is really quick to use. It's really intuitive. Has some very precise controls with superb sound quality. You can use it on its own, but it also makes a perfect partner to Bassroom, another plugin made by Mastering the Mix. Gives you a similar control but over your low end. As you can see, this cuts off at 320 Hz. This is really designed to clean up those mids and highs. And I hope using this plugin will help you create some better masters, help your mix downs get even better, even tighter, and sound even clearer. Thanks for watching, please subscribe, see you again next time.
I keep on listening to your love.